In the last video, we did some PBR rendering with our shader graph here. So what we're going to work on in this video is we're going to work on some actual vertex displacement, because everything we've done so far has been in the fragment stage. We haven't worked at all with the vertex stage. We can modify a few different things here. We can look at the position, we can change the normals, we can change the tangent normal. So there's a few different modifications we can do. I'm going to focus on just the position for this video, and really modifying the position is quite an easy thing to do. So we already have our Voronoi noise down here, but I'm going to create another one up here, and let's change this one to have a higher density. This one I also want to do with time, but you know what, let's actually multiply this by say 5, and we'll make it move around a little bit more dramatically. This time we're going to work with our out value, and what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this, and we're going to get the normal vector. So this represents the normal of the point in world space. So we can do world space in this case, or we could do object space. And what we'll do is we'll modify this, and then this we need to add back to the original position. So we have our normal in world space, we're multiplying it by our Voronoi, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add it to our position in world space, our existing position. So now if we plug that in to our position node here, what it should be doing is it takes this noise function, it makes it into a unit vector pointing in the direction of the normal, and multiplies it by the strength of our noise. Then we take the original world position and we add this extra little bit to it from our noise texture. And then we set it as the actual position. If I save that, I go over here. Well, now our sphere is all lumpy, bumpy everywhere. But it doesn't quite look great. And that's because it's actually being offset upwards by quite a large amount. So if we go back here, we change this from world to object. Now in object space, everything works fine. However, the scale is a little bit too high. So we can create a float called displacement scale. What we can do is before we add it to our position, we can multiply this by our displacement scale. And let's say 0.1 by default. So now we can actually control the scale of it. So if we go to our material here, now we have a displacement scale parameter that we can change the scale of. We can also make negative. So now we have this lumpiness all over it. Shadergraph is a nice way of doing this because we're applying it as a noise texture, whereas down here, when we were applying it in our HLSL code, we were using the actual image texture as our height map to displace along. So this is advantageous because you can make it procedural and randomly generated, so it won't look the same, but it's more expensive. Anytime you generate noise functions have to do a whole bunch of addition, multiplication, subtraction. They end up being expensive. So just keep that in mind when you're working with noise, is that if you have a lot of noise layers being applied to each other, it does end up being GPU expensive because it's having to do all those calculations for every pixel, every frame. So just keep that in mind. But that's the basics of vertex displacement. In the next video, we're going to look at keywords and how to use keywords in Shadergraph.